Where's Gary? Chapter 2. Patrick strolled from his rock house to SpongeBob's pineapple. I haven't seen SpongeBob in a couple of days, he said to himself. I'm sure he'll be glad to know I remembered what I wanted to tell him. As he knocked on the door, Patrick stood right in front of the bag of snail food. That's strange, he said to himself. Usually I knock on the door with this hand. He shrugged and went inside. Hey, SpongeBob, Patrick called. Are you around? SpongeBob? As Patrick made his way through the house, it seemed dark and scary to him. Things were knocked over and out of place, and he thought he could hear someone muttering, barnacles, over and over. Finally, Patrick found SpongeBob curled up on the floor of his bedroom, trembling. Flies were buzzing all around him. SpongeBob, what happened? Cried Patrick, rushing over. This picture is crooked! Patrick straightened the picture on the wall, then ran over to SpongeBob and turned him on his back. SpongeBob was clutching the paddle ball. SpongeBob, snap out of it! Yelled Patrick, but SpongeBob still seemed very upset by something. What is it, buddy? Asked Patrick. You can tell me. I took the Dirty Bubble Challenge, SpongeBob admitted, holding up the paddle ball. You what? Shouted Patrick. Then he broke into sobs and hung his head. SpongeBob was puzzled. Why are you crying? He asked. Patrick stopped crying for a moment. Because many years ago, I took that challenge, he answered. Really? What happened? Asked SpongeBob, sitting up. I won, said Patrick sadly. But then I lost the trophy they sent me. SpongeBob led Patrick into the kitchen. Aw, come on, he said. Let's have some kelp cookies and fresh seahorse milk. That always cheers me up when I've lost something. Thanks, buddy, said Patrick. After he handed Patrick a glass, SpongeBob walked back to his refrigerator to put away the milk. Hey, Pat, he asked. You ever feel like you're forgetting something? Something important? SpongeBob tripped right over Gary's food bowl. He picked it up and stared at it. I think it has something to do with this bowl. Gary's food bowl. Suddenly he remembered. That's it! I gotta feed Gary! On his doorstep, SpongeBob found the bag of snail food covered in dust. That's a lot of dust for a couple of hours, he said, blowing away the dust and cobwebs. Back in the kitchen, SpongeBob filled Gary's bowl. Gary! Dinner! Come on, Gary, soup's on! Gary? But Gary didn't come. Pat, how long was I taking the Dirty Bubble Challenge? Asked SpongeBob, his eye twitching nervously. About a week, answered Patrick calmly. A week! Cried SpongeBob. Are you sure? Patrick thought for a minute. Then he tried pouring the seahorse milk out of the glass. It slid slowly out, having gone bad and turned into a solid. Just to be sure, Patrick smelled the sour milk, popped it in his mouth, chewed it, and swallowed. Then he shuddered. Oh! Yeah, about a week, Patrick decided based on how sour the milk tasted. About a week and maybe 10 days. 10 days? SpongeBob said as the awful truth dawned on him. He started rushing around his house, searching for Gary and calling his name. He looked under his bed and in his closet. He looked in the toilet and behind the TV. He even looked on the roof and under the sidewalk. He even looked inside the eggs in his refrigerator, but Gary was nowhere to be found. Patrick, he said, his eyes filling with tears. I can't find Gary! Stay tuned for Chapter 3 coming up soon.